Is everybody meant to have a side hustle? Is everybody meant to have another job? Is everybody meant to open up a business?
I think everybody should have a business. Just because if you understand how America is actually created, it's designed for business owners and not employees. So even if your business is not that profitable, it still will save you a lot of money on the taxes you're paying at your job.
I
You've been
believe everyone should
you've
have
been
a
you've
side
been
hustle.
paying attention to the king. I see.
Well, I think we just got to be students of people who winning. There's so many people, students of people who's losing, and they wonder why they don't have the results in their life. I it's plenty of times that I tell people is that it doesn't make sense. You telling me you ain't good at nothing. What did that company see in you to see a business aspect? Everybody should do a business. It's nobody that I have personally talked to can't find something. What it really comes down to is a lot of people just lazy. They just
I,
want to work their
I
nine
don't
to
think
five.
that everybody should have to run a business. I think that understanding and looking at things from a business perspective could incentivize you to create a business, and then whether you become profitable as a result of utilizing your time after you get off of work in order to do something extra is different. The other side of it is, though, for example, you may have a woman, right, that's married and she just got her a job or whatever, and that just contributes into the household, and she don't necessarily run a business or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think it may be circumstantial more than anything. I also know some millionaires that ain't never that's never necessarily ran a business, but they understood how to look at things from a business perspective. And so, because they were able to control what it is that they had from a lifestyle perspective, and they don't live extravagantly now because it's different types of millionaires, right? It's millionaires that have a large amount of money that's built into their real estate portfolio or their home, and then in addition to that, they may have a decent 401k and things like that, but they don't necessarily make a whole lot of money, right? They're just very, very smart with how it is that they utilize their resources. They don't need a whole bunch of stuff. They don't need the big cars or anything like that because they're not necessarily marketing themselves for anything. And so as a result, you know, their portfolio says that they're a millionaire, but they don't necessarily live like it. But then you have other people that generate a lot of revenue. They are a little bit more visible. They may be generating a lot of revenue, but then at the same time, they still have a large portfolio of assets that allow for them to also be designated as a millionaire. And so it's just different types of millionaires, right? But the point is, I think, is understanding things from a business perspective versus opening up a business, because a lot of times opening up a business is just creating another job for yourself. I think that that's two different things. So,
I think I really being an entrepreneur. The one thing that's been sticking out to me is owning a system. If you can get a system that spins off revenue or bring revenue, I think is a better asset to you. But
mm.
I think even if a millionaire said, "I'm not a business owner, but I got 6 or 7 properties and I got somebody standing there paying me," they're still functioning in a business aspect. Do you agree with that?
You say even if you're a millionaire, say that last part again.
So if you are a millionaire, and you bought 6 or 7 properties,
Hmm.
um, say you're renting them out or whatever you're doing with it, you still operating as a business, even though
No,
it's not
I,
like
I agree. I just think that you have to. The caveat to that is that you have to be able to look at things from a business perspective before you open up the business. Because just because you open up a business don't mean that you're looking at it from a business perspective. You open up a business without looking at it from a business perspective, you create another job for yourself. Doesn't mean that you're going to benefit from how it is that you're supposed to operate and get all of the tax breaks, all of the benefits, all of the write-offs, and then be in the right business for what it is that you're doing. That's the difference, right? A lot of people open up a business just because somebody taught them how to open up an LLC, right? And then get a bank account and then get a tax ID or EIN off the government website. Anybody can go and do that. Anybody can be the CEO of their own company, but very few people know how to leverage that and look at it from a business perspective that then allows for them to be able to benefit from it on the back end of it. That's the difference. Opening up a business after you understand things from a business perspective versus not understanding things from a business perspective and then opening up a business, you just created another job for yourself. You're gonna work harder for yourself than you did in corporate America, make less money because you really don't know what you're doing. That's the difference. A lot of people, they got this big flex. I'm the boss of my own company. Well, what does that mean? That don't mean anything to me. Now, if you can explain to me how that makes sense for you from a business perspective, that's a completely different conversation. And that's the conversation that we're not having within our community. We only have a conversation of start your own LLC or whatever, whatever. Okay, and then what? How do I market effectively? How much money should I put into it, right? What are my expenses? What are my revenue? What's my return on investment? How am I supposed to bookkeep more effectively so that I don't find myself in a problem with the IRS? Do I need a CPA? Do I need an accountant? How do I do my payroll, right? How much taxes do I need to pay? How much insurance do I need to have on my business? Do I need a brick and mortar as a result of it, or is it completely e-commerce, or is it completely social media, right? And how do I then leverage that business in order to get more benefits from a tax perspective from the federal government legally that then would allow me to be able to maximize what I'm doing in my regular job and reduce the taxes that I'm paying there. And so a lot of people don't really understand how to look at things from a business perspective, which is one of the reasons why I got the Patreon, right? And the Patreon allows for people to not have to buy no courses. You ain't got to spend no $500, $800, and nothing like that. You unlock every single video because I'm trying to take you into the mindset of somebody that's successful, not just give you some basic information that's not going to manifest anything in your life. And so when people start to look at it from that perspective, then we start to mine out the discussion. Then you start to teach people how to get rich. Then you start to teach people how it is that you can lower your taxes legally. And I'm not a financial advisor, so let me add that caveat. But my point is that a lot of people truly don't understand how to look at it. Because then you start to translate it across the board. Then you're able to leverage a marriage from a business perspective. Then you start to understand networking more effectively. And it's not just, I'm about to go to this networking event and see who it is that I can connect with and exchange phone numbers. Now you start to put systems in place similar to what you said. You don't just have a bunch of people in your phone that you're not utilizing. You got a system in which you call 3 people a day, five minutes per person, 15 minutes a day. You're able to get rid of certain people that's in your contacts and then add others, which then would allow you to be able to leverage relationships in order to continue to grow in corporate America or what it is that you got going on a social media perspective. I just got done talking to Angry Man today. I literally just 10 minutes before I got on this live stream, I was talking to Angry Man and we were strategizing on how it is that we were going to leverage our platforms in order to continue to build each other up, right? People don't understand business. They don't. They don't know how to network effectively. They don't know how to build each other up. They don't know what a marriage truly is and what it's supposed to mean in addition to having sex and love. They don't even know what the tax thresholds are for married people versus single people. And so because they don't know that, we're so behind as a community. And it's not that the knowledge is not out there. It's that we're not aligning with the people that's actually giving the information that will add value to your life. We so busy focused on the things that don't matter instead of leveraging our relationships in order to really, really be able to grow. We rather spend time talking about some bullshit instead of spending time on how it is that we can add value into each other's lives. And that's what we do in the Bag Chasers. We don't fuck around. We have fun, we party, we have drinks, and then I help them to understand this coaching session right here is a tax write-off for you. Make sure you leverage that. Let me show you how to do it. This is the software that I'm using in order to make sure that I do bookkeeping. You can utilize this too. It's free for you. You don't have to spend no money over here. Instead, allocate that resource over here in order to be able to market yourself more effectively and increase sales. Why are you trying to do drop shipping if you got this system set up like that? Drop shipping is for this person. This person shouldn't be drop shipping because they need to be controlling their costs more by leveraging this A, B, C, and D. And so those are the conversations that I have with people on the coaching calls instead of sitting there talking about a bunch of bullshit. A lot of people can say a lot of things, but very few people know how to talk about it or deal with it from a business perspective, which is why no matter how much education people like Umar Johnson have, and no matter how much you look at people that say, I got all of these degrees like the Boyce Watkins, very few people can stand in front of me because when we start getting to the brass tacks of things, I'm going to be able to mine out whether you know what the you're talking about or not, just by having a simple conversation with you, because you can't hide from people that's actually living it on a regular basis. You cannot hide. You can't hide. I'm going to find out one way or another. And I feel comfortable standing in front of anybody talking my shit. Don't matter who you are, from what industry you in, we can talk that business talk. That's my wheelhouse right there.